Justin Trudeau and his media toadies. I'm Brian Lilley with the Rebel.media. I'm used to politicians, even prime ministers, showing a preference at one time or another for certain media outlets. I've been the beneficiary. Prime Minister Stephen Harper may not have loved talking with Sun News Network, but he loved talking to me when I was reporting for talk radio across the country. Loved talk radio. Prime Minister Paul Martin, he showed a preference for the Globe and Mail, and we already know the ins that CBC has with Justin Trudeau, Peter Mansbridge in his all-access pass to Trudeau's swearing-in day, the several one-on-one interviews they've done together in a short time. But today there's something odd, something truly odd that is disturbing both for the politician and for the media outlet involved. I'm talking about Vice Canada being the only media outlet allowed to cover an official visit by Trudeau to a remote native reserve. Right now, Trudeau is visiting Shoal Lake 40. It's a reserve that sits along the Ontario-Manitoba border. It is surrounded by water and yet has been under a boil water advisory for 17 years. They get water trucked in. It is a community that doesn't have a lot going for it, it seems, and so Trudeau's gone to see them. This is a historic visit. I don't believe any prime minister has visited them before. Right now, all we can get, though, are the photos put out by Vice and the story put out by Vice. We can't even question on issues such as the report from Vice that there are 80 different police and security officials along for the trip with Trudeau. That's right, 80 to a community of 250 people. Seems a little top-heavy, don't you think? A little bit of show of force? That's something that most news outlets might want to ask about, but nobody else is allowed to ask. Not even CBC, not CTV, definitely not the Canadian press, not us here at The Rebel, not BuzzFeed, not anybody else. Because Trudeau has granted specific access to Vice. Now, if this were specific access, exclusive access to something happening in Ottawa, like a visit to his office, an interview, that happens all the time. But in all my years covering politics, and it's been several now, I've never seen a prime minister, a premier, or anyone go on an official visit like this and only allow one media outlet to come along for the trip. Can you imagine if that had been Sun News Network going along with Stephen Harper as the only media outlet allowed to visit? The press would go apoplectic. Now, in fairness, there are a lot of people in the media throwing questions at Vice. They're defending this, saying, oh no, there's nothing being offered, nothing being taken from this. I'm not sure that we can believe them on that, and so far their reporting leaves an awful lot to be desired. Beautiful photos of Trudeau smiling with children, drinking juice boxes. It's all so lovely. But what about the questions? What about the hard questions? Will we see them? Will we have grilling of both Trudeau and the local chief, the local elders? We're going to be left with whatever Vice decides to share with us. Again, this is an official visit by a prime minister. This is not something that should be only open to one media outlet. It raises questions not only about what was offered, what was taken by Vice, but also by the prime minister as well. What kind of deal is this? Justin Trudeau has a cozy relationship with the media, far too cozy. Maybe people thought Stephen Harper was too distant from the media. But Justin Trudeau is chummy with an awful lot of them. Why? Primarily because he shares their values and they share his. They're progressives just like he is. They want the same things. They won't ask tough questions. That's a big part of it. But I think even for an awful lot of the progressive media party types, this may be going a bridge too far. This is the sort of thing that you just don't expect in an open society like Canada. All other media outlets excluded from covering an official visit by a prime minister to a community that gets an awful lot of federal money and has an awful lot of problems. There are questions to be asked. Unfortunately, we're not going to get a chance to ask them.
Thanks for watching. Click here to never miss a Rebel update. Want even more of the Rebel? Well, click here to become a premium member.